So I want to talk about Rashan Gary and just the crazy performance he had yesterday. And the Packers still have yet to really bring him back fully and given him the amount of snaps they used to before his ACL injury. He played about 23 snaps yesterday overall on the defensive side of the ball. And he finished the game with 3 sacks and 5 pressures. And right now, I just looked at PFF and the Packers' pressures through 3 games. And Rashan Gary is leading the Packers in pressures with 13 overall on 57 snaps. We look at second, Kenny Clark has 12 on 150 snaps versus Rashan Gary's 57 snaps. Devontae Wyatt has 10 pressures on 105 snaps. Preston Smith, 6 pressures on 136 snaps. And then Van Ness with 5 on 65. So the fact that Rashan Gary, he's come back from injury, and now 3 games in, I would say it looks like Gary is in his natural form. What we saw before the injury, we are seeing once again, which I think makes many Packers fans wonder, okay, will the Packers give Rashan Gary this massive contract soon, with it being his final year on the current contract he's on? Because yesterday he showed up big time. The Packers probably don't win that game if Gary doesn't have the kind of game that he does with those 3 sacks, explosive there in the Saints backfield. They couldn't really handle him all game long. And going forward, we're going to see more of Rashan Gary as his snap count increases, as the Packers, I think, trust him more and more as he returns from this injury. And we knew from the start of the season that they were going to take some time to really let him come back and not try to push him too hard. They don't want to risk, his re-injuring that ACL. And so far, everything has gone according to plan. Rashan Gary looks elite. And yesterday, the Packers defense put up a very, very good game, only allowing 10 points, 7 of those points in the final score being on the special teams return touchdown by the Saints. And so 1 week after, we were all talking about just how poorly this defense played against the Falcons, allowing over 400 yards total, over 200 yards rushing. They responded well in a game against the Saints. I am excited about this defense, what they did yesterday, but still, this was an offense coming in that was a 25th ranked scoring offense in the NFL, in the bottom third of the league when it came to rushing yards per game. And so to see the Packers do what they did yesterday, that's something you do want to see. Of course, Carr goes down in the game, but it's not like the Saints were dominating when Carr was in the game. It was mainly due to the fact that the Packers offense really couldn't get anything going. But the question I do still have about this defense is when we face, elite teams, whether that be in the playoffs, hopefully if we can make the playoffs, or later in the season, when you face a team like the 49ers, a team like the Eagles, a team like, the Cowboys, teams that have some top-tier rushing attacks, are you going to be able to stop them? Because we've played really well against lower-tier competition. The Bears dominated them in week 1. Obviously, they're not really playing well right now. Played really well against the Saints team, who hasn't really been great this season, honestly, offensively. And that's nice to see you play well against teams like that. But the question is, when we face those top-tier teams, are we going to be able to get the job done? Or are we going to need to see the offense really carry this team when we face off against, top-tier offenses as the season progresses? So, all in all, very good game for the Packers. Right now, some interesting stats. We are currently the 12th best scoring defense in the league. Not bad. 15th in yards allowed. We are 27th when it comes to rushing yards allowed per game at 136.7. 11th in pass yards allowed per game. We are the 7th best team on third down currently, and tied for 10th best in red zone score percentage allowed. So the Packers have played somewhat well in situational football in the first 3 weeks of the season. We have struggled against the run, which has been a common theme for years and years. But overall, in 3 games, 2 pretty solid games, 1 real bad game. Let's hope we can see the Packers find that consistency as we move forward. But that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.